I just bought the next 100X stock. Yes, this publicly traded company is potentially buying XRP right now and is adding it to its portfolio of massive investments. And I'm going to show you right now why I bought this 100X stock. All of the links will be down below. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to an exclusive interview with Sheldon, the CEO and founder of 3D Capital, a company that specializes in crypto investments, AI, and much more. Sheldon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me.
Good. So please tell me more about yourself, about 3D Capital. What is it, and why is it important to cryptocurrencies like XRP and blockchain technologies?
Sure. So 3D is basically an investor in disruptive businesses, technologies primarily. And, we kind of assess where we think the world is going, and then we make our bets and try to be early on into those trends or fundamental shifts. So, for example, we've been in AI over 8 years now. We saw it. The explosion happened with ChatGPT, but it really was something that we had a lot of conviction on. So how do you find the right projects? Been involved in the blockchain crypto world since 2017, went down the rabbit hole, learned a bunch of things, and believe it or not, 7-8 years later, it's starting to pay off. That's how long it took for some of these projects to gestate and percolate and now come to the top of commercialization. So people know of ARK Investments, Kathy Wood, she invests in disruptive businesses, but they're massive market cap businesses. Mm-hmm. We get involved from the get-go. So very, very early stage. We get involved at very, very low valuations. And then we work with these companies to help build them because we've had a lot of experience in doing that. So we look for 50, 100x plus returns. And so what do you get? You get a company, 3D, approximately 60 investments, diversified, invest early, which gives investors an exposure to have that entry point that they wouldn't otherwise have. And plus, we are active managers. We advise. We run an accelerator out of our office here in Toronto. So companies are in front of us. And we're going through some serious transformations right now. And, 3D is coming out of stealth, where we've been working for so many years on these projects that we didn't want to go and say, this is what we're working on. Mm-hmm. We wanted to basically state, this is what we're doing. This is what we've achieved. We're commercial. We're getting contracts and so forth. So after things are developed, not trying to get away from the promises that many companies give and rarely achieve. So, and I've done this before. I had a previous company, Pine Tree Capital. The entry point was 10 cents. The exit was $26. We had many, many exits, over $1 billion. This is the reincarnation or second incarnation of Pine Tree Capital, 3D Capital.
I love it. You mentioned 60 different investments. So that's in cryptocurrency, AI. What kind of investments are those?
Yeah, so there's many to talk about. One of them is built off a protocol that's basically blockchain-like, but not blockchain, and it's very, very technical, called TODAQ, which is the protocol. And on top of that, one of the killer apps that's been built is TODAQ. And TODAQ is basically for fractionalization micropayments. So you can do payments where your costs are fractions of a penny and unlimited scalability. So they just launched in Cannes at the film festival for payment, basically fintech vertical of paying for streaming of movies. And that seems to be really catching on for many, many reasons. So it's commercializing as we speak. On the other hand, we have another AI company that was extremely stealth and then today came out with their first announcement a commercial contract. And what they have been, their major invention has to do in the signal to noise ratio of imaging and hearing technology. So the area that they're focusing on first is ECGs. And when people go, they get their ECG, it's read by a cardiologist, and they try to determine your health of your heart. The problem is that the signal often camouflages or is camouflaged by the noise, and the cardiologists aren't really sure if that signal is a real signal or an artifact that's sort of created by all this noise in which technology has always had. So we believe that this company could predict ultimately heart attacks and strokes, because through wearable technology now, they're device agnostic. They've developed an algorithmic software which basically cleans up all the signals to show your pure state of heart health. And with wearables now, this can be done on a continuous basis, medical grade, and then the cardiologist can look at it. And what we're also doing is we're training all our data on using AI. So every heartbeat has a constellation of data, but it could never be seen before because of all the noise. Well, now we can see micro trends that when we teach our databases, which we're doing on millions of data sets. You know that if, let's say, there's an edge condition and you're developing AFib or various heart issues, you're going to get an early warning signal that is happening, and you can get ahead of it, so you'll never have a sudden heart attack or an event that is irreversible. So this is a company we're really excited about. It's called AIML. It's a public company itself, and they came out today and they announced their first a partnership with a company out of Paris that produces a smart ring. And the ring, like an Aura ring, is able to actually measure your ECG. And when they saw this technology that AIML developed, they basically said, we're laying off that whole department, redeploying him in another R&D mission. We're taking your signals. We are now going to be the best in class in being able to monitor your ECGs on a continuous basis through the ring, and therefore your heart health.
Sheldon, AIML, how big do you think it's going to be?
So I know this is going to sound absurd, shocking, but when I look at AIML and understanding their business, which really not everybody fully appreciates yet because they're still just pre-commercialization. But they have filed with the FDA, which is very unusual that a company at this level has already done that. But the analogy that I have told to only a few people is that imagine sitting in a room and Bill Gates is this guy who says, I got this software for the personal computer, and I'm just starting it, and I'm looking for some seed capital shares. Maybe you want to invest in Microsoft at 10 cents a share. Because what they provided ultimately is the inside software that every computer needed. AIML is also device agnostic, so they don't care what computer you embed their software into. It's basically hardware agnostic, but all the revenue from AIML is through licensing their software, through license fees, and like a SaaS model, a monthly fee. So there are 300 to 400 million ECGs done a year, and probably 2 to 2.5 billion are on top of that, which are, let's call it, the consumer testing market. Well, imagine that you have the best technology and every one of those ECGs has to use it. The numbers are telephone numbers. So I have used that with certain people to understand what I think this could be.
Wow. Basically the Microsoft for healthcare.
Yes, exactly.
AIML, that's another company that 3D Capital owns in their portfolio, everyone's. Is literally saving lives and making money at the same time. So companies like that, basically, you said they're very small, early stage, but they have a real product that they're ready to launch with. So like that's a perfect example. And now that the product is actually ready, do you see any like big contracts coming up or hospitals trying to actually buy these scanners?
Yeah, so they're really, the company doesn't sell hardware, it's all software. So anybody who has a wearable or has to wear a Holter, which people that have had heart attacks have to do because they need to monitor their continuous ECG, and they're basically, this industry is 60 years old. There's been no major disruption in 60 years. This is like Intel inside, so we don't make the computers or the wearables. We just provide these algorithms of software. So the company its business model is all around license revenue. Right. So it's almost like, you're starting Microsoft and you've got Windows, and everybody needs to run their PC with a software engine, and that's the analogy here.
You can license it to hospitals, you can license it to private clinics, you can literally
exactly
wearables, you can do a lot of different stuff.
You can also do it remotely. So a lot of patients in rural communities, in small towns, they can't get their proper heart because they don't have the specialist there. Now this can be done remotely. So it's a big interest for governments now and so forth, and they would save a lot of money because they wouldn't have to send an air ambulance to get somebody from a remote area because they thought they had a heart attack when really it was indigestion. So we can monitor all of that remotely.
Very cool. Very cool. So like you said, this is just one company from the 60 different companies that you guys own in your portfolio. So now the stock, people that are watching right now can invest in your company through the stock. Is it IDK? I don't know. IDK.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I used to say. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's IDKFF in the US and IDK in Canada.
Mm-hmm. So that's basically how the viewers can get involved with 3D Capital to get access to these types of companies now, because you can't really buy these companies. You can't invest in these companies.
Actually, not the micropayments company, but the Heart company is its own public company, and that symbol is AIMLF. But what I will say here as well is that we've set up a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And we have interviewed most of the CEOs of our major investments. And if anybody wants to go through 3D's YouTube, you can actually see, don't shoot me, I'm the messenger. You can see the CEO of AIML, and you can see the CEO of many other companies we've invested in. We invested, for example, in a company that came out of Harvard and MIT that creates a software that goes in a headset. Mm-hmm. And the headset basically can read your electromagnetic waves in your brain, so that if I'm thinking right now, let's say there's music on in my office, I don't like that song, change to this other song. Just thinking, it will happen, or it can change the PowerPoint on the page that I'm looking at. So we've invested in that company as well. It's a private company called Neurable. We interviewed the CEO also on our YouTube channel. So if someone wants to go down the rabbit hole, there's a lot of information. I also post daily things that are relevant to my portfolio, and there's a lot of information coming out here, and there's probably something for everybody if they have a particular interest.
Yeah, like you said, that's another way for people to get involved, is to subscribe to your YouTube, to follow you on YouTube. And I also saw you have an X page as well, so definitely follow them on X3D Capital. They're invested in a lot of different next generation companies that are innovating and that are doing different things that no other companies are doing. Like, that's why I have Sheldon here today with us on this channel, on our channel, because 3D Capital is truly investing in the next generation of crypto companies as well. And we spoke a little bit about XRP, how potentially 3D Capital will invest in XRP. Can you speak a little bit about that? Or
yeah, so, well, we really can't say forward information of things, but It's a company we've owned, and it's going to complement the other companies in our portfolio. And in terms of platforms, protocols that we believe are going to make a big difference. One of our companies is called HyperCycle. It's basically pioneering the internet of AI. So it's going to allow all AI through agents to speak to each other and become smarter, and also help with compute. So it's a very interesting company. Again, we interviewed the CEO. HyperCycle was built off the same protocol as the micropayments company TODAQ.
Yeah, HyperCycle is also a company that we're invested on on this channel. We literally own HyperCycle.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so the fact that you guys are working with them is amazing. They're very cool. We interviewed also the CEO of HyperCycle, Tufi.
Tufi. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've invested with Tufi since 2017.
Wow. So pre token launch, basically.
Oh, way pre token. Yeah. It was based on the protocol. It was then TODA.
Wow. Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. So there are a lot of different stuff that 3D Capital is doing, everyone. Definitely join them right now on X. All of the links will be down below. Sheldon, there's also a buyback that you guys are doing for your stock. So people can invest in 3D Capital through the stock IDK in Canada and IDK FF in the United States. But you guys are also buying back your own shares.
Yes, because we calculate what's called a net asset value of our portfolio every month, and we report it every quarter. And we just came out and reported the last quarter, and our shares are trading at 20%, actually maybe 18% of the value of the portfolio.
Wow.
So not only do we think there's going to be a big growth spurt here, but we're trading at a very depressed fraction of what we're worth. So I think that people should just watch it and see what happens here, because a number of our companies are going to be reporting milestones in the next probably 90 days. And as they report those milestones, we're going to announce them.
I'd definitely love to have you again on this channel because, like you said, a lot of big things are coming up. And IDK is a stock that people can buy right now. And Pine Tree is also another stock that you had as well. So
that was in the past. Yes, that was previous. We exited that at $26, started it at 10 cents.
Yeah, so basically, can you speak about other successes that you had in the past, like with big companies, scaling them to $1 billion?
Yes, we've had a number. I had a company, Visible Genetics. We started, at 20 cents, and that went to $110 on NASDAQ, and we sold it to Bear in the 2000s time. Then there was a number of projects in the gold space that, we started off at a dime, 15 cents, and sold for $1.5 billion market values. So we have a long history of building companies and exiting them, but we really like to roll up our sleeves and get involved in helping these companies build and contribute our experience on some of the things that go right and some of the things that don't go right, so that we can navigate to a great outcome.
Yeah, because I saw your experience and you have scaled a lot of different businesses in the past. You have multi-billion-dollar exits, and this is just another venture of Sheldon and his group. So this is a stock that you need to definitely take a look into. The links will be down below. I'm extremely bullish on this stock. I invested into it as well. So they are doing a lot of different things right now on the back end. And like Sheldon said, big milestones are coming up. So the next few months are going to be crazy, hopefully. Is there any price predictions? Like right now I see the stock at $10 million valuation. Is there any goal that you have in mind for the next few years?
Yes, I think my objective is here that we are a multi-dollar stock. And I think we're going to demonstrate this year why that's possible.
Big things are coming up in the next few weeks. Is there any final thoughts, final comments, final things that you want to share with the audience?
I just encourage people to go to our website, watch our YouTube channel. There's so much here that you can't possibly capture it all in a short phone call. But if people spend the time, I think they'll be rewarded.
I love it. I love it. And I appreciate you for coming on this call. Sheldon, thank you for your time.
Okay, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.